guys, happy Saturday. Welcome back to my channel. I hope everybody has been well. Sorry, it's been a while since I've done a video. And also sorry for our filming surroundings, which are the bedroom. I ran out of batteries on my video camera that I've been using. So right now we're filming off of the iPad and literally walked all over the condo trying to find a place where the lighting was sufficient, because that's the biggest issue with filming on the iPad, and this is what I could come up with. So I apologize in advance. Or in arrears, I guess. I apologize in arrears for filming in front of the bed. Without further ado, this is a video that has been requested kind of time and time again over the years about Chanel patent leather. I recognize that this video is not for everyone because patent leather is fairly polarizing. I think you either really like it or you really don't. And moreover, Chanel doesn't do a ton of it anymore. They used to, it used to be back when I was buying bags that you could get a jumbo in patent, a maxi in patent, bigger handbags in patent leather, and I haven't seen that for a while. I don't know if it's a trend that's going to kind of swing back again, but I still get a lot of questions about it. So my guess is that the people that have questions are either looking to buy in the secondary market, or maybe they're buying the small leather goods, which are still, I think, sometimes available in patent leather. But without further ado, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you my patent leather collection. I have had no issues as far as quality is concerned, color transfer, all of these things that scare people about patent leather. It's kind of a mystery leather. So I'm just going to take you on a little tour of what I do have in bag format in patent leather, and then I'm going to answer some questions that I've been receiving and just kind of collecting over the years about patent leather, and the ones that I have bad things to say about. So, if I have a answer that's kind of responsive to a question where, it would tend to sway you against patent leather, they're not my experiences. So, they're just ones that I've kind of gathered and I've seen firsthand over the years. So without further ado, and I also will say this, is I haven't bought a patent leather bag in a long time. So I hope that you would consider me qualified to comment, because most of these are at least 5 or 6 years old, if not older. So first patent leather bag I ever bought is actually the second bag I ever bought, which is the Chanel wallet on a chain. This is in burgundy patent leather. It is from back in the day when they didn't have the pocket on the back. And the inside is burgundy with a canvas interior here. That is a question I get a lot, is whether the inside of patent leather bags is patent leather. It's not. I think that would be a disaster, and it would probably make the bag 2 times bigger than it needs to be. So anyway, bag number 1, I think I bought this in 2010. It's part of the 2011 autumn collection, so it must have been end of 2010 or beginning of 2011. And also, this is kind of fun for you guys who are into the history of Chanel, is it has a curved flap in the front, which they don't do anymore, which I'll show you in a minute. I can compare it to another one. So there's this guy. Second bag I ever bought, I think, is this, which is so neon on YouTube on this video. And it's yellow. It's a bright yellow patent leather. This is the travel wallet, which I've done an entirely separate video about. And if you open it, it's same. It has just normal leather on the inside. And then the travel wallet, if you search through my videos, because I don't know how to link them in the comment box below, which is something I hear all the time when I watch videos, is that has these removable pieces that, there's a passport holder and an additional card holder and a coin purse and that type of thing. So this is cool. And then it has a pocket on the back. And then this is sort of cool. It has an enamel CC here on the front. Third bag I ever bought, I think, is this one, which I use all the time. This is my beige rectangular mini patent leather handbag. And it has the pocket on the back. And then the inside of this guy is also beige. It has silver hardware. And I bought this probably in 2012. So I'm going to say 5 or 6 years ago. It's been a while. And then we have blue. So this is a blue rectangular mini. This came out in 2014, which is kind of when I experienced, and I think a lot of people experienced their spike with interest in Chanel, because this was the season where they did all the really bright colors. So the fuchsia and the yellow, and they had this color and a maybe a green as well, but it was like so many colors for spring, summer. And I got this in Boston back when my sister lived in Boston, and it's very tied to that memory of Boston. But anyway, it's blue, inside is blue, pocket on the back. And then the last one I bought, which was in 2014, so like 4 years ago, is this, which is a coral wallet on a chain, coral on the inside. Interesting upgrade at this point is you get an all leather inside. I don't really know when that happened, or if it was just arbitrary for some reason, but if you compare it with the wallet on a chain before, you can see the difference in the front flaps. But otherwise, like the dimension, I mean, this one's kind of flat because it's a little bit old. The dimension is the same. This one, though, the coral one does, however, have a pocket on the back, whereas the burgundy one does not. So anyway, if you kind of look at these side by side, like this is the oldest one I ever bought, which was in 2010. Newest one I ever bought was 5 years later, and they're great. I have had, just like on the personal front, no issues whatsoever with patent leather. I do store them. I store all of my bags in their boxes, which is obviously like kind of a pain because it makes it harder to like get them out and switch them out and find them. Although I finally labeled them, which was so smart on my behalf. But anyway, I store them in their boxes. I keep them in dust bags. I obviously live in Chicago, so I don't have issues with like extreme heat or extreme cold. I have heard that temperature swings cannot be great for patent leather, but I've never had that experience before. So I guess I can't really share on that front. But without further ado, I want to get into some questions that people have had about patent leather. Question number one is whether or not patent leather is susceptible to ink transfer. And the answer to that is absolutely yes. It actually happened to my sister. She had like a teal wallet and put it down, or somehow like put it down on like newspaper or like a train ticket. And the letter E, like a lowercase e from the newspaper or the train ticket, whatever it was, did transfer onto the wallet. And once it was there was like no getting it off. Somehow ink will like osmose through like that plasticky shell that you see, and it will definitely forever alter the bag. I've heard that the same thing happens with magazines, like magazine print. So print that's kind of like loose off the paper. I have not heard of it happening with clothing, like, you know, off of like denim, or clothes that are dark or unwashed. But for some reason with like actual newsprint or like print on paper, I actually have seen it transfer and I have seen it not come off. Second question is whether patent leather is water resistant, because it looks like it is. And the answer is yeah. I have never kind of like tested that to its limit. I definitely would not recommend walking around outside in the pouring rain with any Chanel bag, but I will say that if it's like crummy out and I'm kind of like darting into I'm pretty careful like in terms of weather related circumstances with my bags. So if I'm like getting into a car, getting out of a car, like, you know, popping from one store to the next, I will say that patent leather is something that I will grab just because you can just kind of like wipe the water off. So I have never had the experience of it like permeating the outer layer, like whatever it is that makes patent leather patent, and causing any issues. Discoloration is a question that I've gotten. I think if any bag were to have discoloration, it would be the beige. And this is definitely one of my most used bags, but I still don't bring it out very often. And I looked at it front and back and have no issues with discoloration with this bag. However, once again, kind of a weird story is my sister bought a camera case on the secondary market and didn't realize, and I was with her and didn't realize it either, but there was like a discoloration on the bag ultimately, and it was on the back. We couldn't figure out what it came from. Her bag was teal, like similar to the wallet that she bought, and it was darker. Like there was just this like if you were looking at the back of the bag, there was just this like portion, like substantial portion that was darker. We always speculated that maybe it had gotten really close to like a fire, like heat transfer, and caused that to occur, because it was weird because it was in just like this, it looked like a splotch almost where it turned darker. And in day-to-day use, you don't really see it. But then when you're really looking at the bag, you can. So discoloration has never happened to me, never happened to any of the bags that I own, but I have heard of it happening. And for that reason, if you guys are considering purchasing a bag on a secondary market, especially a patent leather bag, and you're gonna, be able to ask your seller questions about it, that is a huge question that I would ask, just because, like, with my sister's bag, we have no clue like how it happened, and she's careful with her stuff too, so it just didn't make any sense. The fourth question, similar question, which I've kind of answered, regards like extreme heat and extreme cold. I don't think that extreme cold would be as big of a problem for patent leather. I guess I could see if people were worried that it would somehow like freeze and get really stiff. I have never experienced that happening. The only experience that I've got is the one that I can relate to you guys about what happened to my sister's camera case, which looks like there was some sort of like heat issue, which I could imagine because patent leather is fairly like plasticky. I don't know if you can like hear that, but it's just a little like plasticky, and there's definitely something that is done to like treat the leather to turn it into patent leather. And yeah, for some reason, like our suspicion was always that maybe the person that had it beforehand, was at like a restaurant and put it next to a fire, something along those lines. So that's something that I think could definitely be an issue. That's just my theory on it. Oh, another question I've gotten that I've actually read about this before is whether patent leather gets sticky over time. I don't really know the answer to that. I have heard of it happening. I can sort of envision how it could happen. Like, I will say that like the travel wallet, I should have like not opened this before I did the video, because when I don't use this as often, and when I just opened it to make this video right now and I lifted the front flap, it definitely like peeled a little bit. There's no problems with it. Like, it's not like it's lifting or like causing any issues with the leather itself, but it does get a little sticky. But I don't think that has anything to do with like I don't think it would compromise the durability of the bag overall. So for what it's worth, I think you're okay, like as far as the stickiness is concerned, if it does happen. So yeah, that's for what it's worth. Okay, next question is whether or not I consider patent leather durable as a whole. And for me, yeah. And actually for my sister too. So like, despite the fact that she has the letter E on a wallet and some like color issues, I guess, on her camera case, I've never experienced something that's like compromised the bag as a whole. So I've never had, peeling or cracking, which is something that people worry about, is whether patent leather kind of cracks, especially where it's sewn, just because of the nature of the leather. I've never experienced that before. On the whole, I think they're extremely durable. But in summary, I think the one thing that you do have to worry about is color transfer and heat, like related issues, and especially color transfer from newsprint. So anyway, I think that's kind of it as far as the questions that I've gotten for patent leather bags. I would say if I were to rate, like if you were to think like caviar leather, including the new iridescent caviar, which is amazing, and I really want to get something in iridescent caviar leather. The caviar leather, the lambskin, and the patent, I think I would say caviar leather is the most durable, just because it's like built like a truck. I'd probably put patent second and then lambskin third, just because you have so many more issues with lambskin in terms of it like not surviving well over time, and obviously color transfer with clothing, which I think is a lot harder to avoid than, not putting your bag on a newspaper. So anyway, I hope you guys have enjoyed this video. I'm sorry that I don't have my normal equipment and that you just have like the bed in the background. I feel like this is very not legit, but thanks for bearing with me. And if you guys have any more questions about patent leather, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, have a great rest of the weekend, and I'll see you in my next video. Thanks.